Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me well. Can everybody hear me? Let me see the chat. What do they say?
Yeah, people
yes, great, great, great.
Giving a thumbs up.
Thank you, thank you. I just, I was wondering maybe if we had any technical problems. You know how they always arise last minute. Well, hello there. Let's see how we can give our lessons a twist. What's a twist? Do you know the dance, the twist? It's a kind of dance. It's a song, basically. And then a dance was developed. But also lots of different things can be perceived as a twist, like you twist the sponge. In the middle, you can see the dance, the girls dancing. A twister can be like a hurricane, or the game Twister for children and teenagers. Very fun. My children were actually playing this all the time. They like to twist their bodies like this. So twist means switching, okay? It means changing, switching your ways. You can switch a story and make it silly. You can switch current events, literature, classical literature, make a different ending, change the one character or the moral meaning. Pop culture, history, tasks, groups, we can switch everything in class. So switching is the word, changing. If we do things always the same way, we become predictable and we become a bit boring for our students. So if we switch all the time, okay, we give our students motivation. Our students are more motivated when they don't know what to expect. So why is motivation important? Why do you think? Let's see your views in the chat. What do you write in the chat? Because children like twists. Yes, yes. To encourage them. Costa, will you read the comments?
Yes, of course.
Yes, of course.
To give result. Okay.
Of course.
Wonderful.
Great.
It makes students learn English. Again.
Concentrate better.
Exactly. And motivation.
Yes.
Gets them involved. That's right.
Exactly. To get them involved. Well, first of all, it facilitates the learning process. It creates the desire to learn English, in this case. It arouses their interest. As you said, students are more interested, and it encourages participation. So students are more motivated, and they learn faster and better. So the question is, how can we keep our students focused? When are they motivated? When they're focused, okay? When they don't lose their attention span. Is it easy? Is it easy to keep young learners focused? The examples I will use today is from one series we have, a title we have for primary school students, for young learners, and it is called Young Stars. The series is called Young Stars. There are 6 levels, and we reach the Common European Framework level A1 by the end of the 6th level. So I'm referring my examples. I was having in mind young learners when I created this. So how can we keep our students' attention? Is it easy? Or they have the memory of a goldfish. You know, the goldfish, it has a very weak short-term memory. It doesn't remember easily. So this is why they can live their whole life in a bowl, I guess, because they swim around and everything looks new every time, you know, ooh, coming and back around. Ooh, there's a nice living room here. Wow, nice kitchen. Wow, nice window, because they don't remember. Is it easy for your students to remember? Let me see what you write in the chat. It isn't easy. They need more colorful and emotional lesson. Not easy. The attention span 7 seconds. Yes. Okay, yes. Very, very common problems we have, I guess, as teachers. So we have a short attention span, short-term memory, not very, very motivated if we do the things always in the same boring way. So my ideas start with twist number 1, which is start with movement, including total physical response activities and having students on their feet as much as possible. What do the teachers say, Costa? They say emotions, songs,
yes,
games. Of course,
right.
we have all these ideas in the following slide. So here, for example, I have a communicational activity, like a speaking activity, where 2 students are asking each other information on their name. How are you? Thanks. Fine. How old are you? Goodbye. Bye. Instead of doing it in class, sitting on their desks, you can have them stand up, include movement, as you said. That depends, of course, on the space that you have available. If you have a large classroom, you can have your students form 2 circles, one outer circle and one inner circle. So the inside circle, the people who are there, the students will look towards the outside. So they will look at the students who are in the outer circle. And they can ask these questions to each other and then move 1 step to the right and ask another person. And then move 1 step to the right and ask another person. So this gives them a false idea of movement, of active learning, okay? Let's go to twist number 2 now. Use CLIL. What is CLIL? What does it stand for? Do you want to write in the chat what CLIL stands for? Chat, so I can see. It says, hello, Zaporizhia. I've been to Zaporizhia. I've come to Zaporizhia. I remember this city, very nice. So CLIL stands for Content and Language Integrated Learning. And it means learning English through content from other subjects. Because English is not just English, it's not another subject, it's a means to travel the world. It's a medium, it's a vehicle to travel. So if we involve content from other subjects like history, maths, music, geography, biology, etc., in English, we will have double motivation. One will be for the weak students who are weak in English, but good at maths, for example. They will be the first ones to know the answer, and they will raise their hand and they will feel more self-confident. Their self-confidence will be boosted. So this is number 1. And number 2, benefit, advantage, is that when your students meet my students in an online, I don't know, or face-to-face, if they travel for holidays, or if they receive tourists in their city, or if we make an online friendship between the 2 schools and we start communicating, chatting, or even in their games, you know, the computer games they play every day, and they want to talk about their everyday routine. One student will be eager to know what they do at school and what's their favorite subject. And let's face it, school life comprises most of our students' day. They spend most of their hours daily in school or studying for school, right? So if they ask your students, what's your favorite subject? Is it maths or science? And I say, what do you learn at this age? How old are you? 8. I'm also 8. What do you learn at math? They should be able to describe, not know everything in English, but at least describe what they're learning in maths in English. I will give you an example here from science. We have included these examples in our books. So science talks about the life cycle of different plants or trees, okay? Here we have the tomato cycle, how we plant the seed, how we water them, how the plant grows, it brings out flowers, then how the flowers become green tomatoes, and then in the end, the red tomatoes. You see an example here of the life cycle of one vegetable that students can talk about in English, and they can learn new vocabulary like seeds, plant, okay, eat, etc. Of course, this is done as a reading comprehension activity, and it has a reading comprehension, some reading comprehension questions later. It can be put the sentences in the correct order, or true or false, yes or no, answer who says what. And of course, it doesn't only have to do with science, but with other subjects across the curriculum, astronomy, music, chemistry, as I said, history, etc. My twist number 3 is to include unbelievable facts. Well, unbelievable facts usually attract our attention. So let's suppose that we want to teach the numbers, okay, from 0 to 100. In order to attract my students' attention, what have I done? I have included these fun facts, I'm zooming in, about different animals. For example, the box jellyfish has got 24 eyes. Wow. Or the bear, the polar bear, has 42 teeth. Or the blue whale hasn't got any teeth. And maybe some of these animals are ordinary and popular in your country, but others they have never seen before. I'm sure they must have seen a spider, but maybe they have never seen an octopus because of the lack of sea. Yeah? It has got 3 hearts. Lots of cities in Ukraine, they don't have sea. So maybe this octopus thing will attract their attention, and then they will know that, wow, it has got 3 hearts. What we can do, how can we use this twist, these unbelievable facts? We can play true or false. Play it like a memory game. You know the memory game? I can go to my previous slide, allow you to read the facts on this slide. Do you want to play now? Do you want to play true or false? Are you in the mood for some games? Yes? Great. So, what do they say? Do they say yes? Mm-hmm. They say songs, games, okay. I don't know if they say yes. I just took it for granted that they said yes.
There's no answer here, okay. But yes, there we go. We have some yeses coming in.
Okay, so read the information on this slide, and then we will play true or false to see how much you remember. Ready? So, remember the box jellyfish. And remember the giraffe. Is the giraffe's tongue blue? True or false? What do you think? Yes.
Yes.
Say yes. Yes, plus yes. Okay. But I can have other sentences that are not correct. A starfish has got 7 arms. Does it have 7 arms? Do you remember how many they have? Let me check. Wow, people are answering.
5, some people are saying.
5, yes. Starfish has got 5 arms. Yeah, exactly. It's like a star. Great. So you saw here that the box jellyfish has got 24 eyes. We can verify with the text that the animal's tongue is blue. When I open the chat box, it looks like a black box appearing in the middle of the screen. And you can create your own sentences, okay? Let's go to twist number 4. Another nice, let me go back to this fun fact. I want to add something that I didn't put in the slide, but I usually play this game with teachers when we do the teacher training live. What I have done is I have photocopied this page, and I have cut these little papers, and I give every student, each student gets an animal like this, with this information. But the others, they don't know. It's secret, okay? He has to keep it a secret. So what happens is when we want to practice, what verb do we practice here? What do you think? Grammar-wise. Here we practice the verb have got, okay? It has got, it hasn't got, they have got, etc. So if we want to practice the verb have got, we can ask questions. We can ask each other questions that can only be answered by yes or no. So I have my animal. You don't know which animal it is, okay? I will now think of an animal, of those 1 to 8, okay? Those 8 animals. I will choose one animal. I will keep this animal in mind, and then you can ask me questions. Do you want to play now? So my answers can be either yes or no. And then you have to guess the animal. And who wins? The team or player, if you play it in pairs or in teams, that depends. Who asks the least questions, okay? So they have to be smart to eliminate the other options, okay? And find the correct animal with as few questions as possible. That's another option. You can play this not only with animals, but with people, with lots of objects that someone can think of, and the others can ask him questions. So they practice the verb have got without really having a grammar exercise, like fill in the blanks or fill in the verb have got, which sounds a bit boring, right? But this is like a game, like a guessing game. Do you want to play now? Okay, maybe Kostas can help me. Kostas, do you want to choose one of the animals here?
Okay. All right, I've chosen an animal.
You've chosen an animal. Let's see if we have some questions from the audience. Let me start first as an example. There's a question. Is it a giraffe? But here we practice the verb to be, yeah?
Yes, that's right.
But we said we have to practice the verb have got. Okay. Is it a giraffe, Costa?
It actually is.
Oh, God. Just spoil again. Guys, you spoiled again.
But it's not supposed to have got questions.
Okay, I'll think of another animal then.
Yes.
And you can ask me questions,
Okay.
Costa, with have got only.
Okay.
So I'm thinking of an animal. You can start asking me questions and the audience will guess which animal I have thought of. All right.
Okay.
You were just too good on the
Has
first
it
one.
got-
You found the first question.
Has it got 4 legs?
No, it hasn't.
Has it got, let's see, fins?
Has it got fins?
Yeah, or
no,
teeth.
it hasn't.
No.
I have a question from Ludmila.
Mhm.
Does it have 24 eyes?
Well, does it?
No, it hasn't.
Okay.
Has it
It
got
got
a tail?
tail.
No, it hasn't.
Has it got
42 teeth?
teeth?
No, it hasn't.
Okay. Has it got 6 arms, we said?
No, it hasn't.
Is
it a wild
animal?
Well, all these animals
They're all
aren't
wild,
they?
yeah.
They're not pets. I mean, they all live
Is it white? Has it got
100 eyes.
eyes?
No, it hasn't. Which one has got 100 eyes? from these animals?
Has it got a tongue?
Has it got a tongue? No, it hasn't. It's a no, it hasn't practice game.
Has it got 3 hearts?
3 hearts. Yes, it has. So you see, who asked this? Valentina Senko. Congratulations, you found it. It's an octopus. Exactly. So you see how many questions you had to ask. Has it got this? Has it got that? Has it got so many? Okay, I only practiced the no, it hasn't, but things could be different. Like maybe they ask questions that, yes, it has like 3 hearts, right? This was another example. Now I go to my twist number 4, which is tongue twisters. Do you use tongue twisters in class? Do you like tongue twisters? What's your favorite tongue twister? Let's see if you have a favorite. Well, until you write, I will just show you an example of a tongue twister we have included. The tongue twister practices the sound S, okay, and the pronunciation of the letter C. In some cases, it's pronounced S, and other cases, it's pronounced K.
3. Listen and repeat. 1 pencil in a pencil case.
A lot more can be found on the net, okay? More difficult ones. This one was from a low-level book from grade 1, for example, or 2. A black cat sat on a mat. Oh, let's open the, you open the chat, Kostas, so I can read.
Yes, let's look at the chat. Right here.
Yes, let's see.
Here we go. She sells seashells on the seashore.
I already had that.
Okay.
A black cat sat on a mat and ate a fat rat. Good. Betty Butter had, that's my next slide. Here, you see, Betty Butter bought some butter, but she said the butter is bitter.
Oh.
And now if you try to practice this with British accent, try, imitate.
Oh.
Betty Butter
bought some butter.
But she said the butter is bitter.
No, I'm sorry, I don't have that British accent.
Shoes. Whose shoes does he choose? So you see, lots of tongue twisters I found on the internet. And students can have fun practicing faster and faster, okay? Here I have some more. Fred fed Ted bread, and Ted fed Fred bread.
Oh, okay.
Practicing. Here, we surely shall see the sunshine soon. Sh and differences. Yes, very nice. The tongue twisters. So you can start your lesson. First thing that you come in, write the tongue twister on the board and ask them to practice until someone wins. Okay, create a small competition. Now, twist number 5, set up weird press conferences. What does that mean? Let's say you have a lesson about a story, the tomato cycle I mentioned earlier, and you assign students roles. One will be the farmer, the other will be the farmer's daughter, the other one will be the farmer's wife. The other one will be the driver who takes the tomatoes to the plants to make them tomato sauce. The other will be a consumer who buys the tomatoes or tomato sauce from the farmer. So what happens is all these people who have these roles can sit in a line, and the rest of the students can be journalists, okay? And they can ask them questions, and the students with the roles, the assigned roles, they have to answer as if they were this person. So they have to think creatively, they have to imagine, what does the life of a farmer feel like? What does a farmer do? What does his wife do every day? So they can ask them questions, or they can ask them to recite their story, to tell their story, what happened. If you apply this idea, this twist to older students like teenagers or adults, the photo here, the press conference, is more related to adults. I couldn't find a photo with the young learners conference, press conference. So it can be something you read on the news, a natural disaster, a hurricane, flooding, for example, some earthquake, an accident, a road accident. So you can have eyewitnesses, doctors, nurses who took care of the patients, a mother with her child passing by, telling us what she saw, a victim, okay, who hurt his leg and is now in hospital. And the rest of the students can be the journalists, reporters, asking to write articles on the news. And then as an extension activity, you can give them 5 minutes so that the whole class writes something based on what they heard from the conference. It can be a personal eyewitness story, imagined story. It can be a report of the event, of the incident, like based on what I heard from the people, I understand that this is what happened for my newspaper. Or it can be a page in the diary of the doctor, for example, of this person that they were acting like. So lots of ideas to change your everyday use of reading texts, of listening to different recordings of the news, newspaper articles, stories we read in the book. We can twist them, we can diversify them. We can ask my students to report them as if they were them. And we can do lots of speaking and writing, the two productive skills, activities, not only based on the book, okay, always read and answer or say yes or no or true or false. This is another example from a story that we have in our book for young learners. It's a story of a girl who goes to, changes neighborhood, changes city, and goes to this school for the first day. So she's a new student at school. Have you ever experienced this? Going to a school, a new school for the first day? Of course, you are teachers. You always go to a different school. Is that right? Yeah. Well, based on your personal experience, when you go to a new school and you don't know your colleagues, you don't know your students, I suppose you feel a bit, I don't know, stressed. How do you feel, Kostas? When you're in a new environment for the first time? Let me see.
I do feel a little stressed, but also excited, like I'm waiting, anticipating what's going to happen.
Great. So I can read now. I can read your comments from Kostas' laptop. Young learners love conferences. They like to feel themselves like adults. Yes, Victoria, very nice comment. So, do you feel stressed when you face a new environment? Probably yes, until we get to know everyone and settle down. So this is what happens to this girl. She feels a bit stressed at first. So you see her daddy is trying to console her, say, don't worry. Her name is Yulin, so she's probably Asian. And you see the other children, they look different. Some of them are black, some of them are white, some of them have red hair, some of them have dark hair. So she starts meeting the new classmates. The classmates observe her difference, how she is different. She says, wow, she's got beautiful straight hair. We've got curly hair. So the moral value here is that we can all be different, but we are the same, because these children at the end, they end up helping each other, finding the balls or the glasses of each other, playing together, and becoming friends. So you can ask your students to act out this story, or to imagine that they are Yulin, they are the father of Yulin, or they are the classmates or the teacher, and describe this story from their perspective, from their point of view. Okay, just an example for young learners. We can interview not only characters, but also animals. You know how small children, young learners, they love talking animals, magical, I don't know, supernatural, superhuman qualities. They like to have magic powers and to have animals that talk. Objects, maybe. For example, I did this with a group of students, of teachers once. I said, okay, what's your favorite object? And some teacher said, it's my mobile phone. Okay, my favorite object is my mobile phone. Another teacher said, my favorite object is this little stone. They had a stone that was painted by her daughter. And her daughter had given her this stone. It was a small stone, and she carried this stone with her at all times. It was her lucky charm, probably. Another teacher said, it's my lipstick. So imagine how much fun we had trying to interview the lipstick or the stone or the mobile phone. So the teacher who had said, my favorite object is my mobile phone, he had to answer the questions as if she was the mobile phone, not her, but the favorite object. So students, the other teachers, they were interviewing the mobile phone, and they were asking questions like, does she use you a lot? What applications does she mostly use? And how often do you have to charge your battery? And where have you been? Does she keep you with her at night? When your battery dies, how do you feel? They made like very funny questions. Yes? Okay. Let's go to twist number 6. You mentioned songs earlier yourself, and I couldn't agree more. We can use songs. Of course, in our books, we have lots of songs, okay? In every module, there is one song, there is one lesson. The first lesson, actually, we always start with songs. Okay, so can you keep it?
Yeah.
Yes, so I can read the last comments.
Yeah, that's what I'm going.
We can use songs in the beginning, in the middle, and at the end, okay? We start our modules with a lesson based on songs, but you can use them in any time, okay, at any point. You don't only have to use the ones found in the course book, but of course the course book needs to have a song related. The vocabulary is always relevant to what we're going to teach, but you can also use some simple songs, children's songs, or teenage songs if you're teaching teenagers. Find their favorite artists, play their song, give them the lyrics, have them change the lyrics, fill in the missing words, give them 2 options and have them choose the correct word that matches better the verse or the meaning of the song. You can practice a lot of language based on a song. So this is why it's good to surprise them and start with a song, or use the song as background music while they're writing, for example. Give them 10 minutes for creative writing. Write a paragraph, write a story, write a fairy tale, write something. And as they write, they should listen to this background music. If the music has healing properties, if the music is slow and classical music or ambience music, it can intensify their creativity. It can help them cool down, okay, be more creative and write. If the music is like, come on, let's twist again, you want to dance, something you want to dance to, you can use this music for total physical response activities, not settler, but for a booster, okay, a rouser, an activity that will have them stand up and dance. Here we have an example from the book. You see these three friends. They are in one of the children's rooms.
2.
And
Listen and sing. What a mess.
Okay.
Look at my room, look at my room. There are shoes and hats. Look, the cats are wearing hats. Where is my sister? Where is my sister? She's there on the bed. She has got a skirt on her head. Where is my brother? Where is my brother? He's wearing a t-shirt and jeans, and he's eating beans. Look at this mess, look at this mess. Where is my dress? Oh, what a mess, what a mess. Oops, I'm wearing my dress.
Well, okay, this is a song for young learners, primary school children. Can you give me your opinions as teachers? Which vocabulary were we practicing here with this song? Which vocabulary? Can you write like groups of thematically linked vocabulary?
Clothes.
Clothes, definitely, of course. Maybe members of the family, brother and sister, family members, yes. Or prepositions of place, under the bed, on the bed, in the wardrobe, okay, in the closet, okay. Even furniture, yes. What else? Getting dressed, great. Prepositions, questions. We can give them extension. The present continuous, very nice. What am I wearing? We can give them extension activities like he's eating beans. What's your favorite food? What are you eating right now? I'm not eating because I'm having an English lesson, but imagine you're in your room, okay? Have this meditation activity where they have to think of their favorite place. They imagine that they are there and describe to the whole class, yes, their pets, parts of the room, exactly. They can describe the room, they can describe the pets, they can describe what they're wearing, what they're eating, if they're drinking something, okay, to use the present continuous. So you see how many things we can do in terms of vocabulary and grammar based on songs, okay, based on visual prompts, of course, because we see the photo of the room. We can make a combination of linguistic and artistic intelligence, and we can ask our students to find pictures in magazines, cut them and glue and create their own collage, or draw something if they like painting more, or create a choreography if they like to dance, create a choreography for this song, like they can symbolize a brother and sister, the hats, they can show you that they're wearing hats, the cats, they can pretend to have whiskers, or tails, or nice, someone says, Victoria says, nice rhymes, thank you, yeah, of course the rhymes, we can even change the words, the rhyming words, instead of sister, we can say twister, or instead of brother, we can say other. Find words that sound, that rhyme with this word, okay? So a number of activities we can do with songs, as long as we are creative. Now, do you think music affects your mood personally? Generally, beans, yes, exactly. It's pretty weird, but I find it diverting. Okay. Yes. Well, some things might feel weird. Maybe you have never tried them before, but this is why we're here, to give you ideas. And I'm not saying that all these twists will be good for you and will apply with your students, but you can try them. You can give them a try and see which ones work best and adopt them. And even if you adopt only 1 out of the 8, this is a game from today's webinar to take a new idea and apply it in your class. So Ludmila says it lifts her spirit. Music lifts her spirit. Yes, yes, of course. Sometimes, you know, when you want to relax, you play different kind of music. And when you want to encourage yourself to wash the dishes, maybe something you need to actively do that involves physical effort, maybe you play another kind of music. At least this is what I do. I play my dance music when I want to do things like sweep the floors or dust the furniture. And a more soft, chill music when I want to lie down and think what I'm going to plan my day for tomorrow, or what I'm going to do, or how will I solve this problem. And music also affects our memory. It works with memory. There are alpha waves in our music. Delta.
Come on, baby, let's do the twist. Come on, baby, let's do the twist. Take me by my little hand and go like this. Yeah, twist, baby, twist. Ooh, yeah, just like that. Come on, little miss, and do the twist. My daddy is sleeping, and mama ain't around. Yeah, daddy's just sleeping.
Tell me, how did this music make you feel? I can see you have lots of nice ideas on rhyming words. Sun, see, bright, might, short. Yes.
Extremely effective.
Songs are extremely effective material for mastering a foreign language. They can contain topographical names, proper names. There is a specification of cultural logical models of behavior, specific information about the situational actions of representatives of creative elites. Very nice comment. Thank you. So how did this music make you feel? Did you feel like dancing? At least I felt like dancing, you know. But when I want to introspect, to spend some time self-reflecting, to relax, I listen to another type of music. And I was talking about alpha waves and delta waves. Both are available online on YouTube. Check. If you want your students to be creative, we have the alpha waves for creativity. And if you want them to relax, you use the delta waves. There are endless hours of music based on those two frequency. The waves that I'm talking about means the frequency, okay? That touches different parts of our brain, okay, and different parts of our memory. So when you're studying to memorize things, you need to be concentrated. You need a different music that when you want to relax, okay? So it's a true fact that music releases dopamine. It's a hormone in our body, in our blood. That is the hormone of happiness. We have reached 345 participants. Wow, welcome everyone. So it looks like people are still coming, right? So motivated, these people in Ukraine. Thank you, teachers of Ukraine. So dopamine is a hormone, actually, that makes you want to act, okay? It makes you act. So when you start exercising, okay, you need dopamine. This is why these bodybuilders, they take food supplements, okay, based on dopamine. The horses that run in horse races, They have to take dopamine. They have to be very high on dopamine before they start running. So to finish the race, you need dopamine. Also, music releases endorphins. They are another type of hormones that are related to happiness. Okay? Now, let's think, reflect on what we heard today and create our own twist. Do you want to create your own twist? Well, if we were together, we would probably work in pairs with the person sitting next to you or in small groups. Or if you were just 20, I would split you in groups here on Zoom, but now you're too many, okay? You're 350, so it's impossible to split you in groups. I want you to work individually and think of another twist that you can add to your lesson, something unusual, a different way of delivering any of the 4 skills: reading, writing, speaking, or listening. It's up to you. Okay, and present it to us. Does anyone want to give us an idea? Here is a summary of my twists, okay, the 6 different twists I presented today. Let's see the chat. Maybe you want to give us some ideas to share with teachers, with fellow colleagues, your ideas.
Running dictation.
Running dictation. Okay, who said that? Halina Vasilieva. So Halina, can you describe the running dictation? How is this done? Songs, I can't read Russian. I can't read your alphabet. Sorry, the Cyrillic alphabet, I don't know, but there's someone, a teacher wrote, songs during classes perform an educational function because it's a means of stronger mastering. Yes, the songs, okay. Yes, problematic sound combinations, intonation. Thank you for this comment. Halina, can you tell us how you perform the running dictation? Well, normally the dictation is done sitting down and writing. What do? They have to take their notebooks and start run and write at the same time. What's the idea? Let's see. Students are divided into pairs and 2 teams. Okay. So we're waiting for Halina's feedback. Maybe we can, Victoria, do you think we can activate Halina's microphone? I don't know if this is possible. Maybe she can explain to the audience how to play this running dictation, how to do it. I remember the musical chairs. Remember? Yes, because I'm looking at the chat. So we have another idea from Valeria. Valeria, can you read it, Kostas?
Yes, bring 3 to 5 things from your friends or family member. Make your partner guess who this thing belongs to. It helps to practice the possessive cases. Very good.
Very nice, very nice. Very nice idea. I actually bring some objects. I just remembered another idea I have. I bring some objects related to the lesson to the text we're gonna read today. And I put them in a box. I have decorated the box with nice, I don't know, I've made a collage from glossy magazine papers, and it's a beautiful box, and I call it the magic box. So what does this magic box include? It includes objects that are related to today's lesson. So what they have to do is I slightly open the cover of the box and they have to put their hands in without looking, play like blindfolded. They touch one object and they have to guess what this object is. Okay, so first of all, I activate their 5 senses. They can smell, they can touch, they can describe the object. They can say it's soft or it's hard, it's long, it's sharp, it's fluffy, whatever. Or if it's fruit, or you can blindfold them and have them smell and try the fruit and guess which fruit it is. So these objects, they're all related to today's lesson. And after we describe them, students can guess the objects, and then the whole class can guess what the lesson is going to be about. Okay? Well, is Valeria writing the continuation of the running dictation? No?
No.
No. Two cats sit on the bed and sing a beautiful song about the rat. Yes, that would be a nice twist to this song. So Halina says teams are placed in different parts of the classroom. One of each pair runs to his or her partner and tells him or her as much as she can remember of the story the teacher is reading. Very nice. Very nice idea.
And there's a comment before that as well.
Yes. Can you read that?
Yes. It should be considered dubious or even wrong, the method of using the song material by the residual principle, by leftover principle. That is, when the song is used as a kind of speech activity, like listening, at the end, the lesson, or as a reward or for fruitful work. On the contrary, competent elaboration of phraseological and grammatical constructions a song can become, what does it say over here? Go further down. It can become an important element of basic foreign language learning.
Good.
Okay.
Great. Thank you for your comments. I hope you liked at least one of the twists and you incorporate it in your teaching. You make your twists, okay? And instead of creating a twister in class, okay, you create an interesting environment. I have this music, you see. This is the music of a Greek composer I like very much, and it combines the sound of the sea with some light music that helps me relax. Well, thank you very much for your participation, for your ideas, for your comments. And if you have any questions, I'm here. Open to your comments and questions. If not, we can have a 5-minute break, and then we can come back with Kostas' presentation on the 21st century skills using young stars, right?
Yep,
Kostas,
that's right.
What do you think?
Yes. Yes, I think we can take a very short break.
Yes.
Okay.
So don't go away. Stay connected, okay? We just turn off the cameras and microphones for 5 minutes, and we will be back with you to continue with Kostas' presentation.
Staying on this computer or that computer? Hello, can you hear me? If you can hear me, just type yes in the chat box, and then we can get started. Are you all back? Yeah, okay. I see some yeses. Okay, perfect. Wonderful. All right. So we're going to continue now with this next presentation. Yeah, you might. Sorry about that. We're getting some feedback over here. right over there. Perfect. Okay, so as I said earlier, I'm Kostas Pexos, and I work as an international curriculum consultant for Publications. And today, we're going to be having this wonderful presentation. I hope you will enjoy it. Let's go on to the next slide. From here, I don't think I can. Let's see. Oh, there we go. From here, there we go. So what we're going to be talking about today is we're going to look at how a course book can help your students develop a wide range of skills, okay? And be able to cope with what we call those 21st century challenges that they'll need, okay? In other words, to be successful in the information age. So we're going to be talking about what is it that our students will need to be successful for the challenges that they're going to be facing ahead. Okay. Have you heard of what we mean by 21st century competencies? What is it that students need in order to be successful in the 21st century? What kind of skills do you think teachers should be focusing on? Why don't you go ahead and type something in the chat box? Digital skills, I see some of you. Teamwork, yes. I agree. Critical thinking, definitely. All right. So, and I can see, I know the list can go on a lot. Yes, communication skills, critical thinking. Exactly. All of these skills should be incorporated in all of our lessons, okay? Now, you're probably saying, who developed these skills? Like, who came up with this idea? Like, why should students need to focus, or teachers need to focus on these skills or these competencies? Well, the thing is, okay, that over here, if you see over here, teachers, along with education experts and also business leaders, decided that, hey, are we preparing our students for the challenges that are coming up in the world? Okay, so they came up with a set of competencies, set of skills that every student, regardless of what path they decide to take in their life, they need to develop these skills, these competencies. Okay, and why is this change taking place? Well, because of globalization. Okay, it's a big world, but with technology, we know how everything is getting smaller, in quotation marks, right? And also because of this rapid development of communication and ICT, all of this is bringing about great changes. Okay, and that's why in the business world, there is going to be a need for creative and innovative employees. Now, why is there all these changes? As I said, advances in ICT have created jobs that did not exist 10 years ago. All right. And also, this one is also very interesting. This next one says, young people need to be educated for careers that do not even exist yet, like jobs that have not even been created. We have to prepare them for those kinds of jobs. I mean, what do you have to think about that? Like, you know, sometimes as teachers, we say, okay, I'm teaching students skills, we're teaching them, preparing them, but we also need to make sure that we are also going to equip them with the skills for them to be successful in the 21st century. All right, and we're going to be looking at this. And I like this quote here. Okay, it's by Alvin Toffler, one of the great thinkers. He says that the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and cannot write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. Okay, why is this happening? I mean, again, with technology, with all these advances going on, technology is becoming obsolete, and then students need to relearn something, okay? So as teachers, we have to keep this in mind as well. Like, it's an ever-evolving world, and we need to prepare our students for all of these new skills and these challenges that they're going to be facing in their lifetime. So the features that we will describe and discuss now are going to be necessary to ensure 21st century readiness for every student. Okay, and this is why we need to implement this, okay, to make sure that our students are well equipped. You see, things were different in the past, right? I mean, in the past, you know, if you knew a trade, if you were a plumber, you know, you were a carpenter, yeah, you would be pretty successful, okay, in the past. If you knew your subject, okay, being a professional and efficient. But today, look at this quote over here. Look what it says here. It says that even though there's a recession, and a recession means that there's not, you know, people are looking for work, okay? 31% of employers throughout the world struggle to find qualified employees because of a talent mismatch among employees. In other words, they're not able to find the right people to fill in those jobs, okay? So what is happening in schools? Are students not learning those skills that are necessary in order to be effective and competent in the job market? But this is what's happening here. So what they're saying is that today we want employees who can think critically, solve problems creatively, innovate, of course, collaborate and communicate. And this is what the emphasis is going to be on in the next years, all right? I mean, this is what we need to prepare our students for if they want to become successful once they leave school. All right. Now, over here. And what does this mean now? All this, okay? What does all this mean now for us teachers? Well, what this means now is that the world today requires 21st century skills, okay? But the school curriculum and the learning activities will also have to be adjusted, okay? And this is what we're going to be looking at and seeing how all of these changes are going to affect us as well. So what it all boils down to now, okay, is lifelong learning, okay? What this means is that now we are no longer learning something just to pass a grade, okay, just to finish school, okay? But we also want to instill in our students skills that are going to be necessary for them, you know, regardless of what path they're going to go down. And these are now the 21st century skills that schools and teachers should be focusing on. These are the 21st century competencies, okay? In the first column over here on the left-hand side, we have what we call the foundational literacies, okay, where students need, of course, to learn how to read and write and so on. But then we have other competencies like critical thinking, creativity, cooperation, okay? But also character qualities like being curious, persistence, grit. That means not giving up, teaching our students that, hey, we're going to fail in life, but that's okay because we're going to persist and then we're going to come. Success is going to come to us if we persist. But these are the 21st century competencies that as teachers, we need to ensure that our students are getting equipped with these skills to be successful. Okay? Again, here is just, again, breaking it down in greater details. Okay? So foundational literacies here. Okay? And then again, and these are usually subjects that are taught at school, the first ones. And even ICT has started now to be taught in schools as well, okay? And what about us now as a company? How do we deal with it in our books? Well, here is an example, okay? For example, how we deal with scientific literacy, okay? Our students are learning English. Yes, they are. But you see here at the top of the page, we've also tried to incorporate other curricular subjects like science. So students here are learning English, but they're also learning about science. And these are probably topics that, you know, they might have learned, you know, in their science class, okay, in their native language. But now here's an opportunity for them to learn about them in English as well and make that connection between what they're learning in their native language and what they're learning in English. Okay, so we're trying to enhance that learning for our students. Now, moving on here, it says here, foundational literacies over here. The next skill that we're also going to need to be focusing on, of course, is ICT literacy, okay? In other words, knowing how to use a computer, knowing how to, you know, navigate the internet, but also knowing how to use different resources. And as a company, what we do is we have produced lots of online resources, all of our books, will come with online resources where students can go also on our platform, the platform, and practice different kinds of activities, reading, writing, grammar, etc. All of them online. And of course, we also include interactive whiteboard material because it makes the lessons much more engaging and so on. I mean, technology is something that we cannot, I see it with my kids, all right? I ask my kids to read a book, something from a book. They're like, oh no. If I give them my phone and I say, hey, read this text, the same text that they have in their book, but because it's on a phone, they get all excited. They want to read it, okay? But again, I'm saying here how technology needs to be also incorporated to get students motivated. All right. The next category we're looking at here that we also need to focus on, okay, is critical thinking and problem solving, creativity, communication. But let's look at the first one, critical thinking. Critical thinking is about looking at problems in a new way, okay, linking learning across subjects and discipline, all right, and disciplines, and trying to find solutions and asking basically the question why, not accepting an answer just because somebody gives you an answer, but really analyzing that, okay? So as teachers, we need to ask ourselves these questions, like, do we promote and reinforce doing things that haven't been done before, where we have to rethink or think anew? Do we ask learners to generate and ask their own unique, essential questions? These are important things that as teachers, we should be keeping in mind, no matter what subject we're teaching, okay? We should be asking our students or encouraging them to be creative and critical thinkers and ask questions. Okay, now, in our books over here, as you can see, we'll have a story, okay? And again, we are promoting critical thinking always through our stories, okay? But also at the bottom here, we also have a little value, a little meaning. Like, this is about the gingerbread man, okay? And the value here that students are learning is like, don't show off. Don't be a show off because, there'll be a price to pay if you show off, okay? But again, why does it say my sharing is paused? Your screen sharing is paused, how come? Let's go to the next screen, next slide. Can you also see my screen? Let's see. I hope you can also see my screen. Yeah? Okay, great. All right. And again, this is a sample page from the teacher's book where even in the teacher's book, okay, we do have activities that, involve students in developing those critical thinking skills, okay? So we have, in the teacher's book, by the way, is very detailed, lots of tips and suggestions on how to take your learning, the students into the next level. All right. The next skill that we're going to be looking at is creativity. Okay, and what does creativity mean? Well, it's trying new approaches to get things done, okay? That equals to innovation and invention. And, we should encourage our students to develop this skill, creativity. So do we promote this? These are questions that we should be asking ourselves. Do we encourage our students to be inquisitive, okay? Do we encourage our learners to add their own personal touches to their learning experiences? All right. So again, it's all about helping students make connections and take the learning outside the classroom and see what it is that they're learning in the classroom can apply to them as well. And here's another sample of creativity, how we, have different activities in our books that help students create, okay, do projects. Like over here, okay, a student lies down, they trace their bodies, okay, and they do all of these arts and crafts, but again, there's always a purpose for them to use that to do a speaking activity and so on. But again, the creativity is being used. The next skill is communication. So the question here is, how do we facilitate communication? Do we assist our learners in developing their own personal learning links to communicate? Okay, so communication is a skill that our students are going to have to develop to succeed again in the 21st century. And in our books, this is what we do. We have, apart from just speaking activities, but we have like surveys where the students would have to go around and talk with our other classmates, find out about their interests, okay? Find out about what it is that they like. But the point is that they're using the language to speak English. They're communicating as well, okay? And they're basically engaging and making, again, interesting conversations. Here's another example of communication, how we deal with it in our books. All right. Notice there's a prompt over here. It says, student A, invite the others to go somewhere with you. Student B, accept the invitation. And student C, refuse the invitation and give an excuse. Okay. And there's always a practice, a sample dialogue so students can see how it's done. And I always tell teachers, when you assign a speaking activity for your students, pick a student or two students and do that speaking activity in order to show to the other students how it should be done. So you sample, you model it for them, and then they do it in pairs and groups. And as a teacher, of course, you go around and you look, you make sure that they are staying on task and doing what it is they're supposed to be doing, okay? And giving feedback at the end. Now, communication, this is all about sharing our thoughts, sharing our questions, our ideas. And this is something that in our classrooms, teachers should be, encouraging students to talk about their thoughts, their ideas, what it is they think should happen, and so on. And finally, here we have now cooperation. Cooperation is all about working together in order to reach a goal, okay? In other words, putting your talent and expertise and smarts to work, okay? So learning to cooperate, this is another skill that if students cannot do this, no matter how good they are at English, knowing grammar, for example, it's not going to get them far in life if they are not also able to cooperate with other people, okay? And in our book, we always have activities where students need to show cooperation and do all these activities together in order to enhance their learning. So a question that we should be asking ourselves again is, do we give learners opportunities to cooperate face-to-face or in groups? Of course we do, all right? And we will have like surveys, and this is a great way for students to get to know more about their classmates. They go around asking them about the subjects they like, okay? And notice they're also practicing grammar, of course, okay? They're practicing, question forms and short answers. Yes, I do. No, I don't. But again, they're also cooperating and working in pairs and so on. All right. Now here, I had a video to show you, okay? And I'll have this video for you. But I would also want you to answer these questions of the video. Let's have a look at these questions here for a moment, okay? And then I'm going to play the video, and let's see how many of these questions you'll remember after I play the video. The first question says here, like, most educators would agree that the key goal is to prepare students for what? An 18-year-old is expected to get a job that hadn't been blank yet. User experience design, iOS and Android development, and business intelligences. Some of these didn't exist before how long? Let's see. We're going to watch the video and we're going to find out. Students who are able to work with problems and with blank are going to be able to succeed in the workplace. The next questions here, you need two words, okay, with the help of, again, two words. All right, and communicating and are important as well. Communicating and blank what are important. Okay, so let's just watch this video and we'll come back to those questions.
Most educators would agree that a key goal is to prepare students for college and career. But what exactly does that mean?
Let's hope the video will play. No, wait, go back.
Most educators would agree that a key goal is to prepare students for college and career. But what exactly does that mean? In Fast Company, Lydia Dishman reported about the jobs of the future. She asked an 18-year-old what kind of job she was expecting to get after she got out of college, and the response was surprising. "I don't know," she told me. "I don't think it's been invented yet." She's probably right about that. The fastest growing jobs are in user experience design, iOS and Android development, and business intelligence, some of which didn't even exist in 2007. So how can we prepare students for jobs that don't even exist yet? Well, every job is going to have problems. That's one constant. And every job is going to have people. That's another constant. Students who are able to work with problems and with people are going to be able to succeed in the workplace. Let's start by looking at problems. Well, we have to start with critical thinking. Critical thinking is focused, linear, intentional, logical, and systematic. But critical thinking on its own won't solve most problems. We also need creative thinking. Creative thinking is sort of the opposite. It's divergent, nonlinear, intuitive, emotional, and organic. Students who are able to think critically and creatively are able to solve problems. They start on the critical side by defining the problems they need to solve. Then they move to the creative side, brainstorming solutions. Afterward, they plan and research their solution. Next, they develop the solution. Then they evaluate the solution, and finally improve upon it. I like to think of critical thinking and creative thinking as two pistons that drive the engine of problem solving. Students who are able to do both kinds of thinking back and forth are able to solve all kinds of problems. So we've seen how we can get them to solve problems. How can we teach them to work with other people? That's where communication comes in. Communication involves listening and speaking, reading and writing. But communicating isn't enough on its own. Once you've communicated ideas, you also need to work with other people to get those ideas accomplished. That's called collaborating. It involves deciding, delegating, producing, and reporting. Working in a group to accomplish a goal. So once we put collaborating, communicating, creative thinking, and critical thinking together, we have the ability to solve problems and to work with other people to do so.
Hey. All right. Now, let's see if we can answer these questions here. It says, the first one, most educators would agree that the key goal is to prepare students for and a career. Anybody want to go ahead and type in the answer that they think might be the answer to the first blank here? The answer is college, but skills was a good guess. Yes. An 18-year-old is expected to get a job that hadn't been what? Who wants to put in an answer here? Created or invented? Yes, I see some people are putting in. Yeah, exactly. The answer is invented. Very good. User experience design, iOS and Android development, and business intelligences. Some of these didn't exist before. For how long? Before, I see 2007, some of you are saying, yeah, 2007. All right, great. Students who are able to work with problems and with are going to be able to succeed in the workplace. So who is going to be able to succeed if they can work with what? Does anybody remember this one? To work with problems and with people. Yes. Nice going there. All right. Now, the next one, we need two words here. With the help of another two words, is able to solve problems. It's going to be the answers here. AI, some of you are saying. Anybody else? Well, critical thinking with the help of creative thinking is able to solve problems, okay? And finally, the last one, communicating and are important too. Communicating and anybody want to give it a go? Collaborating, yes. Very good. Okay, excellent. All right, so here again now, are these 21st century competencies that we are focusing on. Okay, all of these that we're talking about, critical thinking, creativity, communication, and cooperation, they're all necessary. Now, let's look at some character qualities here, okay? These ones here that you see from 11 to 15, these all lead to autonomous learners. Like, we want our students to be curious, to be questioning things, okay? So we always try to do that in our books to arouse students' curiosity. We want students to take initiative, not to be passive in their learning goals, okay, in their language learning. In other words, to take initiative, say, I don't know what a word means. I'm not gonna just ask the teacher, I'm gonna look it up myself, take initiative. Persistence and grit, that's also very important, not giving up, because there's gonna be bumps in our road, okay? There's gonna be difficulties, but we have to continue and persisting, being adaptable, showing leadership qualities, okay? And again, social and cultural awareness, we're gonna look at that as well. But this is how we promote autonomous learning. We have these now I can sections at the end of each lesson, all right? It's like a self-assessment, all right? So now the students here read these statements and they, color in if they actually can do these things, all right? And we're telling them that, hey, at the end, count the stars. And if you have like a 1 to 5, you're a little star. If you have, colored in 6 to 10 stars, you're a star. And if you have colored in more than that, you're a big star. So again, here we're just teaching students to, say that, hey, this is what you learned, all right? And you should be able to do all these things now because this was the focus of these lessons. All right. And then at the end of each module, we also have this self-evaluation section. These are self-evaluation sheets, okay? And they accompany the Now I Can section. And it gives students here an opportunity to evaluate their performance, okay? And it also makes for a good revision before the actual test, okay? So these are like revisions preparing students for what it is that they've learned, okay? And now they're preparing them for the test that's gonna be coming up as well. Okay, so, and remember, revision is always very important. Students always forget, so we make sure that we do that. Now, here's another activity here. Okay, it says make a bar chart with your results from activity 2. Okay, so here the students had to basically ask questions, and it's just showing how, getting students involved to collaborate and also showing them that they can do projects and hands-on activities. That's going to help them and become more autonomous as well and learn more effectively as well. All right, and finally, we also have social and cultural awareness. All right, by learning English, okay, when you're teaching English, you're also teaching the culture of the language. But in our books, we also want to teach students the culture of other countries as well. Because, hey, they might travel one day, and they're going to use English, of course, to communicate. So we try to raise intercultural awareness. So we'll have information about different countries, okay? And then again, this is an opportunity for students to go online and find some additional information. So this one is about food from around the world. What do people in Thailand eat? What do people in Mexico eat, okay? So again, your students can go online, search for more information about food in another country, okay? So it's, again, taking the learning outside the classroom, all right? Now, if you think of the 16 points we've been talking, okay, where are all the topics, all core literacies like reading, mathematics, science? Well, 12 of the 16 competencies do have SEL. And do you know what SEL is? SEL is social and emotional learning. This is also very important. Okay, it's a buzzword now. It's become a buzzword. But social and emotional learning is helping students develop those personal and social skills. Okay, and in our books, we try to accomplish this as well. Help our students, develop these important skills. So some questions for thought, like, for example, do we promote, encourage, and reinforce inquisitiveness? Okay, do we do that as teachers? These are questions that teachers should be asking themselves. Do we encourage our learners to add their own personal touches to their learning experience? All right, so remember, students are going to be different. They're going to have some different background knowledge, perhaps, but let them also contribute to the lesson. Okay, put their own personal touches. Do we assist learners in becoming involved in meaningful work? Okay, let's help our students, see meaning in what they're doing. Okay, in other words, help them, find the activities useful and get more involved with them. Do we provide opportunities for learners to take risks and to take their own initiative? What I mean by risks here, okay, is not to be afraid of making mistakes, like tell our students, hey, don't worry, we're here to go out on a limb. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to learn. It's okay. And we also have to take initiative. Remember, learning is all about taking that step and taking that initiative, being proactive. You cannot just sit there and passively absorb information, but you also need to go out and get it yourself. And of course, do we give learners opportunities to work on long-term complex projects? Okay, we do that as well. We give students these opportunities where they build upon the knowledge that they have been learning, they have been getting all along the year. And are we and our learners adaptable? Okay, because remember, we need to adapt. The world is ever changing. Our students are also always changing. So as teachers, we might also have to adapt our methods, our methodologies, okay? We need to always adapt to meet the needs of all our students. Now, how do we teach all these skills? Well, again, by engaging our students, empowering them, okay? And also exciting them. Now, here it says, becoming a networked teacher. As a teacher, all right, we need to make use of all of these resources. In other words, to be more informed. You're not alone at a school, I'm sure. So you have colleagues. Talk with your colleagues. Share your ideas, okay? There's, of course, online, you can find so much information nowadays, okay, on the internet, blogs and wikis and all that. But again, I'm the type of people that likes to talk with other colleagues, all right? I mean, it's good to go online and, and see what other people are saying, but I also like that live connection. All right, we have a question here, I see. Ludmila Carmina, okay, you raised your question. Let's see. Okay. Let's see the questions. Maybe Nadia can answer that question. Okay, let's go on. Now, my role as a teacher, our role as teachers, again, is to prepare our students to meet all the challenges that they may face, okay? But as teachers, we are also advisors, all right? We help our students acquire the skills that they'll need in order to be successful. As teachers, we're always adapting our teaching, integrating technological skills into the curriculum. We're doing our research, and again, collaborating here with peers and colleagues. But these are all branches, these are all the important things that we need to focus on as teachers, all right? And when it comes to all with what students need to be learning, okay, oops, what happened there? Okay, sorry about that. Now, with students, we want them to be able to develop all of these skills as well. We want them to be able to develop their problem-solving skills, creativity, critical thinking skills. But we also want our students to collaborate, to be able to collaborate with others, okay? So we are equipping them to be successful, again, not just in the classroom, but in the 21st century as well. So all of this is done through our series, Young Stars, over here. Okay, all of these ideas, you will find them embedded throughout our books, okay? Our students, your students will be learning English, but they will also be learning those all-important skills to be successful in the 21st century. Okay.
Thank you, Kostas.
Thank you.
Do you have any comments or questions for Kostas? I hope you liked the second presentation talking about the softer skills, about the 21st century skills. I know it's like a long time, 2 hours we kept you, but since we're very far away and we couldn't come to you, we thought it's a good chance to stay in touch. We will have more webinars in the future. Maybe you can give us your feedback. I can see that some people dropped out in the second one, just trying to see the webinar statistics as well. Maybe it's better if we do 1 hour and then maybe next week or 2 weeks later, another hour. Maybe it's better this way. I don't know. Give us your feedback, because we know 2 hours, maybe it's a bit too long for you after a working day. Yeah, in a working day, maybe. We'll see. We'll discuss this with Victoria and we will get your feedback. And thank you very much. You're so kind. They all say thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, they write thank you to the chat box.
It's our pleasure to be here with you.
Thank you, Victoria, for organizing this and for inviting so many teachers. And thank you, teachers, for attending at such large numbers. It was our pleasure to work with you today, and you were a very participative audience. You full of ideas and comments.
And we have been incredibly lucky to have such experienced speakers sharing their expertise with us today. And thank you for making this webinar a truly enriching experience for me and the audience. And we appreciate your desire to dedicate your time to this conference. And again, thank you all for joining us today. Thank you for your participation. And I look forward to seeing you at future webinars and events where we can continue to learn and grow together. So happy Easter. Enjoy your Easter celebration, and may this holiday be filled with joy and hope. Oh, and one more thing about your certificates, just a kind reminder. So you'll get them within 3 working days. There will be the letter with the link, and I ask you to follow the link and download your certificates. Thanks again. See you next month. Goodbye.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.